Masturbation is not a moral sin, but rather it's a symptom. Yeah, it's crazy. Masturbation is not a moral sin, but rather it's a symptom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Message Over Gaming podcast, where we have deep, meaningful conversation over gaming, over something leisure, easy, free, just chill. Chill while we'll talk over things, and chill while we'll explore deep, meaningful, existential question of the universe, questions that make you who you are over just really chill, low key gaming experience. Thank you for being here. So today on this podcast, we'll be talking about masturbation. I know it's a dreaded topic and it's something that we don't exactly like talking about, and everybody shies away from it like it's not entirely a human experience. But then there are those people that feel like masturbation is a sin. It means that you are weak. It's a personal defect. Blah 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 blah. Well, the thing is this: masturbation is more or less a symptom, a signal, an expression of unfocused energy rather than a disease, rather than a problem that most people think it is. When you think of masturbation, actually start to think about a lack of purpose, a lack of direction, a lack of focus, a lack of that thing that gets you up in the morning, a lack of something meaningful to pour yourself into, something that you are passionate about. If you're struggling with masturbation, start to understand that what you are truly struggling with, what you are really battling with underneath it all is a lack of purpose, a lack of direction, a lack of focus, a lack of something that makes you feel, makes you come alive. You want to feel heard, you want to feel seen, you want to feel needed, you want to be able to express yourself, express your existence, and la di da di da. But the one thing you should not do, and the one thing you really need to stop doing as an intelligent person right now in this 21st century, is thinking that masturbation is a sin. Is thinking that masturbation means that you are weak. Masturbation means that you have a personal defect. You cannot control yourself. That's not what is happening right there, nigga. That's really not what is happening. You see, with masturbation, you've got all this energy, all that passion, all that fire, but then it has nowhere to go to. It turns inward. That's actually what is happening with masturbation. It's having all that passion, all that imagination, all that fire, all that enthusiasm to pour into something creative, to pour into something meaningful. But then it has nowhere to go to. It shrinks inward. And because it shrinks inward, it has to be taken out one way or another. A lot of people forget that the act of touching yourself is actually not the only way your body knows how to masturbate itself. Surprisingly, your mind could actually do the masturbation for you without you physically touching yourself. As crazy as it sounds, your subconscious mind literally does the masturbating act for you without you needing to physically touch yourself. And that is what we call wet dreaming, isn't it? It's where you go a long time not really expressing yourself, not really being able to apply yourself, not really being able to be seen, to be heard. And then your subconscious mind goes like, oh, there's all this creative energy that this nigga isn't making use of. There's all this creative energy that this girl isn't making use of. So let's just give them what dream so that they can use that energy. Because when you don't let out the energy, it becomes frustration. It clogs your vision. It becomes that fog that kind of scrambles your signal or something. Man, it's I feel like you're not bad for masturbating, honestly. You're just disconnected from the creative energy that is around you. Yeah, when it comes to masturbating, you are not exactly bad for masturbating. You are just misaligned with your own energy. You're a writer, a poet, an artist. You know what it feels like to not be any one of those things. To wake up in the morning and not have ideas, not be able to implement your ideas. You have this vision, this grand idea, this plan for the future, but then you wake up every morning as a failure. man, you are going to masturbate the hell out of your existence. And that is what is happening to a lot of us, especially the young person. We've got this vision, this ambition. We are not lazy, we are not unintelligent, we are actually quite creative. We have a generation that is creatively stimulated, but then they've got very little output, very little channel to express themselves. So what does everybody do? Pornhub. Everybody goes into Pornhub. I don't have a job. Pornhub. I just lost my job. Pornhub. My girlfriend broke up with me. Pornhub. I can't think. Pornhub. I can't create. Pornhub. 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 Everything, and it's just quite funny, honestly. Here's what I'm saying. I need a job. I need somewhere to go. I need something to build. I need to feel alive. That is the underlying need behind that overwhelming desire to express yourself. I mean, think about it. When you're not expressing yourself externally, you're going to express yourself internally, because that is basically what masturbation is. It is inner expression, but that inner expression ought to be channeled to the outside, to starting a business, a product, doing something that you are passionate about, to getting stressed in the external world. Honestly, that energy needs to be channeled outside, not inside. But there's nothing fundamentally wrong with expressing yourself on the inside or experiencing yourself though. But ew. Honestly, there's really nothing wrong with expressing or experiencing yourself, but it's just so much better if you could channel it on the outside. Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, think about getting in bed with your own self. Now that's something to think about. But then every time you masturbate, that's basically what you're doing. Yeah, you can pick up your phone and go into Pornhub and download as much porn as you watch, or watch as much porn as you watch. At the end of the day, on a biological level, you are basically tasting your own energy. Let's not go into that part a bit. Yeah, let's not go into that part. If you are someone who is struggling with masturbation, what you're probably there's a very good chance that you are struggling with productivity, just getting stuff done, being creatively engaging yourself in your own life. You are feeling left out in your own life. You're feeling empty. You're feeling not needed, not seen, not heard in your own life. You are probably someone who is getting that sense of being under challenged. Man, especially if you've got ADHD, sorry to say, oh my god. You're feeling under challenged, you're feeling under applied, you're feeling underexpressed. And ironically, you're also the kind of person who has too much passion, too much mental power, too much imagination. You are pretty sensitive, too much fire with no outlet. That is what the struggle with masturbation is actually about. Don't ever think that you're weak. Just think of it this way. If you are truly struggling with masturbation, you are really an unspoken warrior. Just think about it that way. Honestly, if you struggle with masturbation, damn, your creative energy has to be skyrocketing somewhere. Your power of imagination, your mental powers, your mental faculty has to be skyrocketing somewhere, and it just needs to be channeled in the right direction. Because with people who struggle with masturbation, and this is a scientific fact, if you like, go counter with anyhow you're going to think about it. It doesn't really matter. When it comes to facts, sentiments, morality holds no ground. And this is the fact. People who struggle with masturbation kind of have very high visualization skills, deep imagination, mental intensity, and emotional awareness. These are your four powers. If you're someone who is struggling with masturbation, you have very good visualization skills. If you take that visualization skills into something like product design or software architecture, nigga, whoa, deep imagination, take it into writing, creating something, graphics, mental intensity, you are able to stand that mental pressure. You're able to withstand a very good high amount of mental pressure. Emotional awareness, emotional intelligence. That's the unspoken power of people who struggle with masturbation. It's just about finding the right direction and not beating yourself up. It's about sitting down to really just understanding yourself on a level, seeing yourself as an individual, a creative force, as an extension of the universe, and approaching yourself with as much understanding as possible. We underestimate the power of understanding, of being patient with ourselves. Rather, we live in a world, a generation that is interested in slamming everybody with one standard, one unrealistic standard or the other. We have the religious people who wants to point out how everybody sins and how everybody is supposed to live their life, and we have the moralists who wants to tell everybody what is the right way to live life. And then we have the new age spiritual minded people that don't really give a fuck how you live your life. Just be present, just be now, and just be mindful. Be patient with yourself. Take a look at yourself. You are important. You are really important. What are you trying to say to yourself with your struggle with masturbation? Every time you get triggered, every time you feel overwhelmed. Why? Why? It's all about channel. It's all about finding the right channel. It's your energy asking for a level of brilliance. It's your creative energy, your creative force, your sexual energy asking for that brilliance that you already are. It wants to turn itself on the outward. Because think about it and try to understand this. The same creative energy that is used in writing music, building system, designing ideas, making love, raising children, create the universe. That same energy is behind your sexual urge. Yeah, it's crazy, I know, and it's unrealistic. I know. Yeah, I said it. I said it, so I know. It's unrealistic. I know it totally doesn't make sense. I know, but it's the truth, nevertheless. The same energy that is channeled into creating a business. That is why people who own businesses don't have rarely have the time to go into a relationship, build a family, or masturbate. Nigga, if you are a billionaire, you own companies, you're a captain of companies, do you think you would have the time to for that relationship or to crush on your neighbor? No, you ain't gonna have the time, nigga. That's the truth. There's a game I usually would play with myself. It's a mindset shift, a positive mindset shift type of game. It's a game that I will play with myself every time, anytime that I am broke and I need to make decisions. Every time that I would find myself in a negative place, a negative state, a negative mental, but at the same time, I need to make real decisions that is going to steer my future in the right direction, existential kind of decision. The intensity of it all. I would say to myself, if I had $1 million right now, what would I do? Yeah, it's a positivity mindset shift, honestly. If you had $1 million right now, what would you do? What decision would you make? The idea is to not make decisions out of a negative place, out of a poor mindset, out of a limited option, but to act like you have all the time in the world. Do you know that in most situations, I'm not going to lie, especially situations where I feel that intensity, I am feeling overwhelmed, and I just want to express myself, but because I don't have a creative outlet, I reach for touching myself. Do you know that if I were to ask myself that question in that moment, if I have $1 million right now, would I be in my room touching myself? No, I definitely would not be in my room touching myself. If I had $1 million right now, I'd be on my computer designing things, writing softwares, writing program. I'll travel. I'll go see things. I'll build things. I'll be in one of my businesses. And if I ever do need to express myself sexually, of course I'll be in a relationship or something. But the point is, nope. I'm not going to sit on my bed touching myself if I have $1 million right now. I do have $1 million right now anyway. So let's get back to what we're talking about. When you do not express that energy in a productive outlet, what you get is masturbation. What you get is basically you in a dark room with a screen a screen, sorry, and a temporary feeling to release that energy. That's what we get. That is what masturbation is really about. It's not evil, it's energy with no direction. Think of it. Do you, I don't know, did you take up science courses in school? So when you know of the law of thermodynamics, that law that states that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but rather is converted from one form to another. Now, this is science. I don't know if you took science classes in school, but basically, the law of thermodynamics states that energy is neither created, neither can it be destroyed, but is simply converted from one form to another. That's why I told you earlier that the same energy that is channeled into building a business, building a brand, writing music, writing poetry is the same energy that is seeking release, and it's the same energy that is expressed, that is identified as the sexual energy. When you don't have the right outlet, man, you're going to touch the hell out of yourself. When you are feeling empty, when you are feeling like you are not worthy, feeling undervalued, underproductive, not needed in your own existence. Now that's a terrible, dreadful feeling. And one way that our body, our mind copes with it, masturbation. What this means is that, yeah, what this means is that there's that energy within you that is seeking to bring life into the world. And I'm not talking about raising kids or sexually. That's part of it, but not really part of it. There's that energy that makes you an artist that is seeking to express itself in a canvas, works, designs. There's that energy within you that is seeking to be an entrepreneur, to give birth to ideas, to build things. That is actually what masturbation is about. It's about what that energy within you is telling you to do. And it's about creativity. Forget everything else. It's not negative, it's not bad, it's not evil. I have a fundamental problem, and this is why I struggle with most religion out there. I have a fundamental problem with any religion, any notion, any idea that is trying to tell me that I am bad, I am evil, I am what the actual what? There is nothing, know this as a person, there is nothing about you that is fundamentally evil. Know this about you. Of course, you will not always make the right decisions. You will not always be perfect all the time, but it doesn't mean that you are bad. It doesn't mean that you are bad. You have one or two sins here and there. It doesn't mean that you are bad. It just means that you are human. You're not perfect. The energy of masturbation is one seeking to bring life into the world, seeking to create, seeking to build as an entrepreneur, seeking to direct another life as a parent. It's all the same thing. The energy is telling you, nigga, you've got the mental capabilities to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Nigga, you've got the mental capabilities to do something, to create something, to be expressive, to be alive in your own life. That's what the energy of masturbation is telling you. And you need to listen. It's one thing, it's the same energy. Figure out your type of direction. Figure out your type of expression. Figure out where you are needed in life and watch as you design a fuller life, more experience, better experience for yourself. It's about life, basically. It's about creating the experiences that you prefer rather than just experiencing your own self in your own room with a phone in your hand. Don't do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. There's really nothing wrong, but come on, nigga. There has to be more to life than being tucked away in your own room with your phone and your left hand. What the fuck are you doing? Don't do that. Oh. Channel that energy externally and start to create the experience that you prefer. Take actual, very little steps. Are you a writer? Are you a designer? What do you love doing? What are you passionate about? And start to channel that energy bit by bit. bit by bit. It's not about overcoming masturbation. There's really nothing to overcome. Animals touch themselves. Yeah, I felt very stupid the day that I discovered that even animals touch themselves. It's crazy. Yeah, I felt very stupid, very foolish the day that I realized that animals touch themselves too. Even dolphins.